G'day everybody, welcome to Step Outside. Benny Weston from Wild Hinchinbrook Adventures. Mate, tell me, why are we here?
Mate, today we're in a different part of Hinchinbrook. We're in the more northern end of the island. And today, a lot of people come up here and want to focus on barra, but today we're going to hit the edges on some of these deep banks here, some of this fallen structure, and we're going to chase an exceptional tropical sport fish, mangrove jack.
I'll tell you what, they're a lot of fun, and there's so many other things, even just sort of cruising along the banks here, you're hearing the buff, so you're becoming in tune with nature. Like you're hearing the birds, you're hearing the mud skippers flicking around and the crabs going into their holes, but also you're hearing a buff or a scatter of a bait fish, and they're the signs that you really want to hone in on when you are fishing, and that's not just in the tropics, that's for heaven's sakes anywhere you go.
100%. If you're not hearing those sorts of things, fish aren't actively feeding in that area. So it's also always very encouraging to hear a splash, to hear a chop, or to hear a buff in the area that you're fishing.
And you can, once you get in tune with it, you can really work out what fish that might be. For example, if you're in, fishing off a beach and you're hearing a slap and you're smelling the mullet in the water, it's a good chance it's a mulloway coming up having a feed maybe on the luteric. Or if you're up north or even semi-subtropical and the prawns, jelly prawns are pushing out of a canal on that ebb tide, well, there's a good chance they're trevally busting up, and up here you've got all those other different species.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And you do become in tune with what sounds like what species is generally going to be making that sound, and then you can adjust your techniques and your gear accordingly.
I'll tell you what, that way it smells fishy. Let's give it the gas.
Let's go.
All right. What do you got on, mate?
Cuda.
He's sitting in the snags.
This is a broke man's barra.
Broke man's barra. A broke man's smelly barra.
Oh, they stink, don't they? It's slimy and stink.
Mate, you did well to get him out. Now, you're only running 4-pound braid.
Yeah, mate.
But 40-pound leader.
That's correct, mate, yeah. So
unheard of in my neck of the woods.
Probably a bit heavier leader than what most people would use for such light gear, but
yeah.
Yeah, I find it works for me, eh? So I just stick with it. I find 20, you lose too many fish on. So
is that right?
Yeah,
the 4-pound, what's that going to enable you to do?
Well, it allows you to be a little bit more finesse, so you get a lot more accuracy with your cast, particularly in this tight country here. So
nice.
And obviously with the action of the rod, but also adds a bit of fun to it too, mate.
Certainly does, mate.
Which is why we do it.
That's red hot. I love it. What a catch!
Slimy things. Off you go. Get out of here. So when you're snagged up, guys, there's a couple of different ways in which you can try and get that lure off without having to go in, particularly when you've got a situation like this where you've got a snag that you really want to have a crack at, because it does look really good in there. So a couple of different ways. One's like the bow and arrow way, so you just take the tension up on your rod and just give it a bit of a flick. Or there's another way, and that's to come down, grab it again nice and tight, and just give it a flick. Unfortunately, that one's not going to come off, so we're going to have to go in there with a lure pole and retrieve it.
Start at the front, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
That's him.
Done.
Just like that.
How good's that, eh?
Lure retrieving with Burt.
We just saved money. That's the fish catcher.
I'm just going to talk you through how I like to chase mangrove jacks up here in the Hinchinbrook channel. So I'm a bit unconventional to the norm. A lot of people think that casting the edges and hitting snags with either soft plastics or hard bodies, you need to run 20 or 30 pound braid and heavy leader. But I like to run a 4 pound outfit, which many people will raise their eyebrows about. But I run a little 2500 Shimano twin power. It's got 4 pound fins braid run over the top of it on a 6'6" Samurai reaction. I like the length. It's an extra light action rod because trying to flick up underneath some of this undercovered mangroves, it's nice and whippy and it allows you to skip cast in underneath those quite well. From there, I run my main line to a leader, approximately 1.5 meters of leader. I like it so it just doesn't go on top of the reel. Otherwise you're using your finger on the actual leader itself. I run 40 pound. I use the Nomad Pandera braid. It's a great braid, nice and subtle. I tend to stay away from fluorocarbon. I like to use mono. Those FD knots can bite nice and hard down into that soft, supple mono. Run it down to a little loop knot, or lefty's loop as most people know it as, to a chin locks, jig head, into a 3-inch Z-Man minnows. Absolute dynamite for jacks. Catch plenty on them, get railed by plenty as well, but that's why we all do it. Bit of fun. Don't get dusted this time.
No, I'm not getting dusted here, mate. Here we go, Benny.
You got one.
After tirelessly casting the snags, we smacked him. Look at that. Mate, he's been knocked around the tree a bit.
So generally what they do is, you'll see the difference in colour there.
Yeah.
So through experimentation over the years and fishing for them a lot, they have a different shade of colour. So obviously we're more generally known as being maroon.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, but you also catch them and you'll see guys on Facebook and wherever,
yeah,
they'll be like a pale colour.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So what it is stress. So a stressed animal, they're actually quite pale.
Right.
And the reason I know that is I've seen one figure 8 and around a snag. Hit him on the nose, bang, caught him,
yep,
photo, pale. Put him into a live well,
yep,
give it 10 to 15 minutes, and he went bright maroon.
Stressed
So yeah, so when they're not stressed, so generally when they're in a feeding type bite,
yep,
they're maroon.
Okay.
Because they're in their element, they're feeding.
Yep.
More territorial, a little bit more pale. So.
Well, we better get him back
Yeah,
in the drink, mate.
absolutely,
Stop stressing
mate.
him out and we'll get some more fish.
You do the
Good on
honours,
you,
mate.
buddy. Ah, mate, go for it. While you're doing that, I'll get another cast in.
Off you go.
There he goes.
Oh, yep, he's burying me. Oh, I'm gonna go in there. Oh, he's out. Yep. Oh, it's a good jack too. Good jack.
Good man, what a fish.
I'll turn it up. Good jack.
Mate, nice work, buddy. Look at that. You in the net?
No, I should be able to get him in.
What a cracker.
Oh, look at that.
That is the bomb.
That is what it's all about, ladies and gents.
Oh my God. And the Gary glitter, or that golden colour with the glitter in it, absolutely smacked it.
And there he goes, nice and pale.
Yeah, wow.
That's a good jack, that's a good hinchy jack. That,
Mate, sensational. Do you ever get spiked much?
yeah, all the time.
I was going to say.
Yeah, no, he'll go close to 40, that fish. That's a really nice fish for up here. Generally in the channel, sort of anything 38, which is legal, all the way up to about 43 is a good jack.
Yep.
Anything beyond that is a big jack for up here.
Part of the Lugentus family in here, we've got that canine teeth, typical of a jack, obviously. Mate, are they territorial? I know they are aggressive in their zone.
Yep. Yeah, so from the observations that I've had, they are quite territorial. However, they will share snags with the likes of Barra.
Yep.
And you'll often see a lot of multiple jacks in a snag as well. So
okay, cool.
They're probably obviously somewhat territorial,
yep,
but they don't mind sharing a snag. So
nice.
These are beautiful fish.
Good looking fish. All right, well let's get him de-hooked, mate, get him into the drink, and we'll have another flick at one of these other 50 million snags I can see up the river here. It's so good.
Awesome, mate.
Wild Hinchinbrook Adventures, everyone. You've got to make sure when you're up in this neck of the woods of Far North Queensland, come down and see Benny, and this is his home, this is his domain. Not that he actually lives in amongst the mangroves, but this is where he comes fishing. And of course he knows every corner of where the fish are. In fact, when we're going along there, he's saying, like, cast in there, and you get your lure in nice and deep, banging with the pizza on the front door, remember, is that you're instantly just getting rolled. You're getting a hit, you're getting a knock, so very reliant. Mate, good job.
We'll get this going, absolutely.
Yep, done. So the gear I'm running is a little bit heavier than Benny's. He's got the 4 pound braid, 40 pound leader. I'm going 20 pound braid, 40 pound leader. I've still got here the 3-inch Z-Man minnows. That is extra 10 times tough and stretchy, you can see. And of course I've got that a weedless rig on that. But going down to the gear, even though this is fairly light, I still love the bait cast. It gives me direction, feel and accuracy. So I'm running the DC 150HG Shimano. That's the Corrado, it's digitally controlled. So you'll hear a whine when you're casting, but at the same time, it helps eliminate overruns. So for newies out there, great for you, but if you guys just want to cast lighter gear or lures and get into those snags, fantastic as well. Direct feel, good punch, great retrieve. The Corrado rod here is the matching outfit. It does work up to around 6 to 8 kilograms. Okay, so it's going to pull good fish. It's got great drag and good gear ratio. So the whole combination is fantastic. It's a one-piece outfit. So fingers crossed, we just get out there. All we have to do, click it, roll the reel onto its side, because with that it allows us to hit the bearings all on one end. Otherwise it will slow the retrieve or the spool out when you cast over the shoulder and let it go. Hear the whine, I'm on no overrun. So it's a real easy reel to use. At the same time, you don't want to be sitting up here picking out a bird's nest when you want to get the lure straight into those snags. Right in there. Oh. Get out of there. Oh, no, get him here, mate, get him here. Oh, that is unfortunate, and that's what happens, mate. What happened? Run through it with me, Ben. Smacked.
He wanted to be in his house more than what he wanted to come out and visit poor Burt, I think.
He didn't want the pizza.
No. No, well, that's just the way it is up here, mate. Like I said, you've got to be in it to win it. And unfortunately, he won. So,
Benny, what do we do here, mate? There's a fish.
Here
he comes.
Keep the pressure on. Got him.
Oh, nice jack. Look at that.
Beautiful jack. He's lit up too.
Mate, it's no barra, but I don't care. It's a jack. What a lovely colour.
That's a cracking jack.
Mate, sensational. On, again, that fish trap. I'll tell you what, a fish trap, a fantastic lure to put in your tackle box, mate.
Mate, that is, and you just let that just drift down the front of that snag there, and he just belted it.
Well, you gave me the honours and said, Bertie, get your line out there, and I took advantage of the offer, mate. And I'll tell you what, that is just a remarkable looking fish. And again, part of the Lugenis family, that canine teeth here, I'll get my fingers away from that. But mate, up in the tropics, do you see, I mean, down on the Gold Coast, southern New South Wales, northern New South Wales, southeast Queensland, fish get up to, 3 kilos.
Yeah.
Is that a common size up here, or they more seem to be a different genetic and
No, mate, no. I think with the influence of having the reef and the thought and the science behind them spawning at the reef.
Yeah.
As a general rule up here, we usually get them sort of between that palm size up to about sort of 46 is a cracking jack in an estuary up here.
And I'll tell you what, a fish of that size there.
Yeah, that's a legal jack.
He is sensational, mate. I'll tell you what, look at that, straight off. See you later, mate. What a beautiful, beautiful fish. Nice work. And I'll tell you what, everybody, coming up here and fishing with Westo in these beautiful regions of Far North Queensland, you're just going to find yourself lost in this amazing paradise, mate. I've got to ask you, do you ever get sick of being here?
No. There's no better way to put it.
Mate, it is just incredible. And the fishing, you just don't know what's going to happen. Barra one day, jacks another day, trevally, queenfish, the list goes on. There's a whole variety of species inundating these creeks, and wherever you look, there's always a boof occurring. So, mate, it's just a matter of getting the lure out, really, isn't it?
100%. It's so diverse here, mate. Whether it's inshore, like you said, in the estuaries, or you're going offshore, there's just species to burn, and it's just alive, like you said. And it's no better place in the world.
That's it, mate. And I'll tell you what, that's going to wrap us up on this one here from beautiful Far North Queensland. I'll tell you what, just flicking the banks with these little fish traps, that's what it was all about. And absolutely produce the goods. And of course, come up here and check out Wild Hinchinbrook Adventures with, of course, Benny, Weston. And mate, you're gonna have a great time, and it's just fantastic. Thanks very much.
Good having you on board, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Here's some tips to get you underway the next time you want to flick a fish trap around the banks.
I like to run 4 to 6 kilo spin or an overhead combo. 40-pound fluorocarbon leader is ideal to get them out of the snags. As for the lures, squidgies, 3-inch Z-Man minnows and fish traps. Use a weedless rig on the plastic so you can get it right into the snag. Set your trap. Good luck.
And of course, thanks for watching Step Outside YouTube channel for lots of cooking and fishing action. Like, subscribe, and of course comment for more catches like this and cooking recipes.